Hello everyone, welcome back to my video channel. In this video, I will be discussing the histology of thyroid gland. So first we will look at some of the points, anatomical point, and then we will move on to the histology part. Here the thyroid gland, it is the largest endocrine gland in the human body and it derived from endoderm. So we know that we have three germ layers, okay, ectoderm, endoderm and mesoderm. So and this thyroid gland is derived from the endoderm, okay. And the location, coming to the location where we can find out the thyroid gland, here the thyroid gland, it is situated in the neck region in front of the larynx and tracheae. Okay, it is located in front of the larynx and tracheae. So you can look at in the diagram, this is the diagram of the thyroid gland. Okay, it is located in front of the tracheae and larynx. Okay, and the thyroid gland has two large lobes. Okay, it has two large lobes. You can look at in the diagram, it has two large lobes, and the two lobes connected to each other by a tissue known as isthmus. So you can see these two lobes are connected by a tissue. Okay, tissue. This is known as isthmus. Okay, and usually the right lobe, okay, this right lobe will be larger than the left lobe. This lobe will be larger than the left lobe, and you can this thyroid gland has a shape of butterfly shaped endocrine gland. It is a butterfly shaped endocrine gland. Since thyroid gland is endocrine gland, means what are the secretion like hormones that are directly released into the blood, that is directly released into the bloodstream. Okay, and coming to the weight, weight is about 20 to 30 grams, and the length is 5 just 5 centimeter, and width is 3 centimeter. So as I said, this is the endocrine gland which secrete the hormones. Okay, it secretes the three types of hormones. Here the three types of hormones are T3, T4 and calcitonin. Here T3 is it has another name, that is triiodothyronine, and T4 called as tetraiodothyronine. It has another name, it is also called as thyroxine. Okay, and these two are secreted by a cell called as principal cells. Okay, don't worry about this, I will explain what are these principal cells. Just by the time being, just remember these T3 and T4 are secreted by a principal cells of the thyroid gland, and calcitonin is secreted by parafollicular cells. Okay, that's some of the external anatomical points on thyroid gland. Now we will move on to some other points. And this thyroid gland plays an essential role in in regulating the basal metabolic rate, that is BMR, that is called as basal metabolic rate. Here it stimulates the somatic and cyclic growth and play a vital role in calcium metabolism. So ನಮ್ಮ ಬೋನಿಗೆ ಕ್ಯಾಲ್ಸಿಯಂ ಬೇಕಲ್ವಾ, ಸೊ ಅದರದ್ದು ಬ್ಲಡ್ಡಲ್ಲಿ ಇರ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥ ಕ್ಯಾಲ್ಸಿಯಂ ಲೆವೆಲ್ನ ಮೇಂಟೈನ್ ಮಾಡೋದು ಥೈರಾಯ್ಡ್ ಗ್ಲ್ಯಾಂಡ್. ಓಕೆ, and so what is this BMR? Here BMR is nothing but the energy that is expanded at rest in a neutral environment, that is called as basal metabolic rate, and the normal metabolic rate of a man is 7,100 kilojoules per day, and for the female it is 5,900 kilojoules per day. Okay, and sometimes the third lobe called the pyramidal lobe projects from the isthmus. See, if you look at here, so from here the third lobe may be project from this is the isthmus, no, so third lobe may project like this from the isthmus. Okay, and see, as I said, this is the butterfly shaped. See, when you put a pen like this, so if you have a look up to here like this, so it will look like a butterfly, right? So like this, if you imagine this, so it has a butterfly shaped look. Okay, and we will move on to some other points. The third, the thyroid is covered by a capsule of connective tissue. It is covered by a capsule of connective tissue. It is covered by a capsule of connective tissue. Okay, it is covered by a capsule of connective tissue, and that enters into the gland, okay, as trabecular septum, and it is divided into several incomplete lobules, bringing along with its arteries and nerves. Okay, they will divide it into several lobules, and these each lobules contain a number of follicles, and these are called as number of follicles, and these each lobules contains a number of follicles. Okay, these are the follicles. And the follicles or the thyroid follicles are the structural and functional units of a thyroid. So there will be one question, which are the structural and functional units of thyroid gland. Here the follicles, or you can say thyroid follicles, these are called as follicles. These thyroid follicles are the structural and functional unit of thyroid gland. Okay, And coming to, when you look at this thyroid gland, thyroid follicle, or when you look at this, you can imagine the shape here. They are spherical or round in shape, and these are closed glands, means which do not possess any duct. That means that these are endocrine in nature, okay. And the wall is made up of large number of cuboidal cells or follicular cells, okay. So this is the one follicle, right? Okay, this is one follicle, and this follicle is made up of follicle cells, okay. These cells are called as follicle cells, okay. Large number of cuboidal, which shape in they are in cuboidal shape, okay. These are called as follicular cells. And when you say anything like if you take any cell, okay, anything, so if you take this cell or any vessel, blood vessel, or something, arteries or something, so this one will be the lumen, and this, okay, this part will be the lumen, okay. This center part will act as a lumen, right? Okay. And here this so this way, this lumen, okay, the lumen of the follicle is larger, okay, and it is filled with colloid. It is filled with colloid. What is that colloid? Colloid means it is a glycoprotein, okay. The colloid is here the glycoprotein. And this epithelium, okay, there are two types of cells in the epithelium lining the follicles, okay. There are two types of cells here, this epithelium. The principal or chief cells, okay. These cells are follicular cells, or you can say these are principal cells or chief cells, okay. And the other type is parafollicular cells or C cells. These cells are called as parafollicular cells or C cells, and these are called as principal cells or chief cells, okay. Now we will look at the principal cells here. The first one, that is principal cells here. The principal cells or chief cells comprises 98% of the cells. So when you look at all the cells, so majority of the cells will be principal cells or chief cells, okay. And these are cuboidal cells. So these are cuboidal cells resting on the basement membrane with large prominent nucleus towards the base. So these are, as I explained before, these are which shape? These are in cuboidal cells, and nucleus, which is this is the basement membrane, okay. This part is the basement membrane, and the nucleus is towards the basement membrane, okay. And these cells have secretory granules, okay. These cells have secretory granules and colloid droplets in the cytoplasm. So in this cytoplasm they will be having the secretory granules and colloidal droplets in these, okay. And the cytoplasm stains darkly and is basophilic due to the ribonucleoprotein, okay. And the free ends that faces the lumen bears microvilli. See, you have a look here. I have zoomed out this part and I have drawn in large here. So if you look here, I guess you can find it here. So, and these will be having a brush-like structures, okay. That is towards the lumen. So this is the lumen, right? So towards the lumen here, they will process the microvilli, okay. These are called a brush-like, finger-like projections are called as microvilli, okay. And so here. The thyroid, which is produced, the thyroxine, okay, that is T4 tetrahydrothyroid, which is produced, is released into the capillaries, means blood capillaries, that is which are surrounding the follicles. So the follicles, here is the blood capillaries. So what are the secretion? That is thyroxine, which is directly released into the blood capillaries, okay, because which is endocrine in nature. Now we will move on to the next point, that is the second type of cells, that is the parafollicular cells or C cells. Here these are very few in number when comparing with the principal cells. These are few in number, and they produces the calcitonin, okay. They produces the calcitonin, actually, which regulates the blood calcium levels, which lowers the blood calcium level, okay. So you can remember like this: calcitonin, calcium, okay, which regulates the blood calcium level. And when you do the staining, okay, when you do the staining, like these cells are large with a pale staining cytoplasm. The cytoplasm, usually this cytoplasm will be pale staining. It will be in the pale, it will be not dark color, it will stain pale, okay. Now and these parafollicular cells usually present on the outer wall of the follicles and do not protrude into the lumen. They are separated from the colloid by the principal cells, and they have large nucleus, and the cytoplasm is clear. See, when you say the hypothyroidism or hypoactivity, here the shape and size of the follicle and the type of the cells that lining the follicles and the nature of the colloid vary according to the activity of the gland. Okay, if it is a hypoactivity, hypo means low, okay, hyper means high, okay. when you look at this, we can find out when you look at a cell, so you can find out whether it is hyperactive or hypoactive. So if you look at the points here, nature of the follicle, when you look at this is the follicle, right? So when you look at the nature of the follicle here, the follicle, in case of hypoactivity, the follicles are round and they are small when compared to this. They're small with regular outlines, okay, with regular outlines. And in case of hyperactivity, the follicles are larger and folded, and they are irregular in shape. Coming to the nature of the cell, the cells the cells in case of hyperactivity, they are low cuboidal. So you can look at this, these are low cuboidal. And in case of hyperactivity, the cells are very tall, okay, they are columnar with light staining. Here the cytoplasm is darkly stained, here it is lightly stained, light staining cytoplasm. And the nature of the colloid, the colloid, this part is the colloid. The colloid stains darker, and colloid stains in case hyposecretion, the colloid stains dark, okay. In case of hyperactive, the colloid stains light in color, okay. And this is all about the histology part of the thyroid gland. I hope you got the enough information on histology part of thyroid gland. Now we will move on to the functions of the thyroid gland. Here I have listed out some of the functions of the thyroid gland. The first one here is these thyroid hormones, okay. Thyroid hormones, like which are the thyroid hormones? Three thyroid, it secretes three hormones, right? T3, T4 and calcitonin, okay. T3, T4, that is thyroxine and calcitonin. So these hormones, they help in overall growth and development and differentiation of all the body cells, okay. And the second point is, as I mentioned before, they regulate the basal metabolic rate. And I have mentioned this one also. They play an essential role in calcium metabolism by regulating the blood calcium levels, okay. And they regulate carbohydrate, fat and protein and vitamin metabolism. And the next point, they maintain the electrolyte balance, and they control the body temperature. Again, it is related to the like maintaining the body temperature and basal metabolic rate. And they stimulate heart rate and contraction. The next point here, they help in deposition of calcium and phosphate in the bones. So by that, they makes the bones stronger, and they support the process of formation of RBC formation. And these thyroid helps in thyroid hormones helps in increasing the oxygen consumption by the cells and the tissues. And obviously the last point, they always influence the mood and behavior of a person, okay. That is about thyroid gland. I hope this video is helpful for you all. Thank you everyone.